prepare my speech so well.
Okay, today we are having our
Being recorded.
presentation, first presentation of the characters of Silence the Courtesan session. Vijay Tendulkar Silence the Courtesan session that was first presented in English translation by the Madras players at the Museum Theatre Madras in March 1771, directed by Ammu Matthew. The play contains several characters, and through this reading of the text, we have come to understand the characters. For our first day of presentation, we have different students from our first semester batch of MA English introducing to us the roles that they played in the rehearsals of the play that we had online, and they will be describing their characters in first person narrative using the different modes. So we will encourage each participant and we will try to learn from each participant how well we have understood the characters. Vijay Tendulkar is very famous for his wonderful art of characterization. So in the field of theatre, Vijay Tendulkar is very famous, especially for his study of the psychology of characters. And we find a rich gallery of characters in the plays of Vijay Tendulkar. Plays like Ghasiram Kotwal, Vultures, plays like Kamala, Sakaram Binder. We have excellent group of characters. And through this variety of characters and their interaction, the conflict, the central conflict of the play is generated. The characters are multi-layered. And we try to show these different layers of characters as the play progresses. Silence the Courtesan session contains very important characters like Leela Banare, who is at the center of the play. We also have a village rustic Samant, we have Sukhatme, we have Balu Rokhde, Pokshe, Karnik, Mr. and Mrs. Kashikar. So these important characters are there. Raute and Professor Damle, they are of course absent, but through the conversation among the players, we also find references to these characters. So together we have these characters drawn from typical situation, placed in a situation. We also find references to these characters. So together we have these characters drawn from typical situation, placed in a typical situation, almost realistically by the playwright Vijay Tendulkar. So for today's presentation, we have with us Ronita Sarkar. May I now request Ronita Sarkar to make her presentation. Each participant will get 2 to 3 minutes for presentation. Yes, may I request Ronita Sarkar to switch on the video and audio and make her presentation. Ronita, please.
Hello, I'm Rainta Sarkar, playing the character of Balu Rokhde. Once a vagabond I was, roaming in streets, got shelter under two merciful beings. My almighty are they, two heavenly creatures from my theatre troupe, Mr. and Mrs. Kashikar, who show sympathy in their way. They provided me shelter, they provided me food, hence it's my responsibility to stay humble too. For education, they charges me none, it becomes my responsibility to become their near one. I have been granted with good position, whoever comes gives me an order and suggestion. A young chapel like me, who is worthy a lot, doesn't get a chance to bring his acting skill out of a pot. Here are other members too, idle with whom Sukhatme, Pongshe, Karnik, and Miss Banari. We meet often for drama practices and trials. Miss Banari is a lady with fortune, blessed with charm and beauty, but I am more affectionate towards Mrs. Kashikar. Her gratification has binded me with her. I am grateful for their blessing, however, their humble request makes me chastening. I worship Mrs. Kashikar's kindness. I am committed to her. Thinking of anyone else enchants me with fear. Banare once offered me a marriage proposal, but her grave deeds forced me to answer in refusal. I would I could be poor, I could be in debt, but accepting an unmarried mother as my lady, I would rather go for debt. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronita Sarkar, for this excellent exposition of the character of Balu Rokhde, such a lyrical, such an excellently written text that you have, and such good performance presentation of Balu Rokhde. Through you, we learned different shades of the character. Balu Rokhde indeed is a very interesting character in the play and is at the center. And with Leela Banare, he also represents the person from the margin. Thank you, Ronita, for telling us all these about this character, Balu Rokhde. So our next presentation will be by Debolina Vishwas. And perhaps through Debolina, we will have a glimpse of Leela Banare. Please switch on your video and audio on, Debolina. Present Leela Banare. Yes. Debolina, some problem with your microphone. So we cannot hear. No, we cannot hear. So either it is switched off microphone. No, we cannot hear you. The computer is okay, but the earplug, yeah. Without the earplug, if it is, yeah, directly to the, yeah.
Hello,
Yes, now we can
am I
hear you.
audible?
Yes, please make your presentation. We can hear you.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Debolina Vishwas, and I'll be presenting Mr. Kashikar. I'm Mr. Kashikar, the social worker and the chairman of the Sonar Moti Tenement Progressive Association of Bombay. A very well-connected man, you see. People such as Mr. Nana Sahib Shinde of Bombay, the chairman of the Education Society, are known to me. Well, it all comes on as an added advantage of being a social worker. But today, I'm here as an actor. I'll be playing the role of a judge in the mock law court or the living law court. Order, order! Silence! The court is in session. I like ordering people about. It is my job. As today I'm an actor. You see, patronizing people is something I certainly enjoy. You might remember me interrupting Sukhatme while he was telling the age, or should I say, stating the age of Ms. Benare, 34. After all, one has to understand there is a hierarchical way of things, how it should go. There should be discipline in everything. The same goes on with my wife, whom you may know as nothing else but Mrs. Kashikar. After all, she does not have any other identity apart from it. I simply tolerate her, even though she has no characteristic that should define her as a social worker's wife. May that be of education, manners, sophistication, you name it. But I'm still happy. At least she's not like Miss Benare, independent but immoral, educated but flirtatious. People should have discipline in their lives. Women should have discipline in their lives. I really despise the idea that was presented by Agarkar and Dhondu Keshav Karve. Women are the face of society. It is their behavior which makes the society presentable. Their misconduct should never be tolerated. After all, Janani Janma Bhumischa Swargatapi Gariyasi. In other words, mother and the motherland are even higher than heaven. Thank you.
So Mr. Kashikar, Debolina's Mr. Kashikar, excellent representation of the character, representing the feudal patriarchy, representing the traditional value, the hegemony order of the world, especially of Indian society. And there we found Mr. Kashikar valorizing his power and dominance over not only Mrs. Kashikar, his wife, but trying to control the entire session through the rehearsal with his loud sound of silence. Thank you, Devolina, for this excellent presentation. We have today Momita Bhomik to make her presentation. Momita, please unmute your mic and make your presentation, please.
Good afternoon, sir. I am playing the role of Leela Banare. I, Leela Banare, the play's protagonist. I am an unmarried woman and my age is 30. I worked as a school teacher. I was in love with Professor Mr. Damle and carried his baby in my womb. But this becomes sinful for me that I have been removed from the job as a school teacher, as because my boss was very much worried of becoming pregnant. They thought this was a sign of immortality and that I will pass on to the school children. Mr. Damle, being the husband and father of the child, left me alone from his upcoming responsibilities. Now I am totally alone and become a part of a joke to the society. Even when I arrive at a meeting hall in a small Indian village with a villager summoned to perform a living courtroom for the villagers, I was out of the room for a while. I, uh, I became the subject for the characters who are playing the role. When I returned and discovered that they have selected me as accused of infanticide and having illegitimate affairs with the numerous men, especially with the absent member of group Professor Damle, they have brought my real trouble to limelight. These upset me too much. These also insult me. At the end of the play, they try to tell me that my prosecution was just a game, but I was totally broken. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Momita. Thank you, Momita, for your excellent exposure of the character of Leela Banare. And through your representation, we could find clearly the different shades of her character, how guilt and shame and love all combine together in making the character of Leela Banare, who is at the center of the play, Silence the Court is in Session. Thank you, Momita, for your presentation. So we have now Megha Tiwari to make her presentation. Megha Tiwari, please unmute the mic and switch on your video. Make your presentation, please. Megha Tiwari. Yes, Megha, we can hear you.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Me, Megha Tiwari, and I'm playing the role of Miss Banare. I'm Miss Banare. I'm 30 years old. I was a what I'm saying. Sir, I'm not prepared very well.
Continue, please, Megha. So you have performed the role of Leela Banare. Leela Banare, yes, she is a person of. Yes, continue, please. So we want to know about Leela Banare. So what led her to this relationship with the Professor Damle? Was it love?
No, it was not love. It was just a shameful relationship for Banare.
So
It was
when did Leela Banare realize this, that this was a kind of shameful relationship?
when she becomes pregnant and Damle left her for that reason. So she
So
finds
she had fond impressions regarding Professor Damle, and she almost adored Professor Damle, worshipped Professor Damle. But what Damle wanted was just her body,
but just her body.
and she realized this late on. And what is now her condition? What is now her problem? Does she want?
Her problem
Yes.
was that she finds a father for her baby, and she wants her baby to uh, a family and a father.
So this is her aspiration. She's searching for a suitable father for the baby rather than a husband for herself.
Yes, yes,
So all the romance, all the illusions regarding human relationship, especially love relationship, has now shattered. Now she is longing to give birth to a child and give this child the name of a father. So she is following the norms of motherhood, traditional Indian motherhood, or not.
yes, following.
So she has the values that are related to the traditional idea of motherhood. A mother who loves the child, wants to give birth to the child, wants to nurture and give the child a family. Being deprived of this in her real life, especially betrayed by Professor Damle, who does not have the courage to accept her, she is forced to search for a husband in this world. And this crisis in her life is further aggravated by the theater workers, by her own fellows who try to force her to confess the sin. And even Mr. Kashikar, Sukhatme, they want to force Lila Banare to commit the most heinous crime of infanticide, aborting the child that she has conceived. Thank you, Megha, for your presentation of Lila Banare. So we have, through you, learnt about her problem, and this is not the problem of only a mother, but also a problem of Indian women in general. So who are trying to assert their independence, their love, their control, autonomy over their body and mind, but being deprived of this autonomy by the dominant feudal patriarchy, they are forced to accept the sin. Sin is a state of mind. Lila Banare thinks this as a love child rather than a sinful act of past. So we have with us Ojit Konai. Ojit Konai will make a presentation. Ojit Konai, please switch on the mic and the video to make your presentation.
Yes, sir. I am not in the sir room. I am out for some time. So, sir, I did not prepare my presentations due to service examination, but I am prepared the recently I prepared the role of Mrs. Kasigar. Sir, can I
Yes,
say something? Yes, sir.
yes, say.
Yes, sir. Mrs. Kasigar. I am the playing the role of Mrs. Kasigar. Banner introduced me as the hand that rocks the cradle. Yet Mrs. Kasikar, although she is given his epithet on has no children of her own, her role it is the suggested that outset is on of the providing nature and secondary support as a housewife. The use of the married title Mrs. and her husband's surname is the only way in which she is represented throughout the play. This perhaps is her only public identity. She is known as the wife of Mrs. Kasikar. It is her husband who calls all her shots and is shown as very rude to her, putting her down and cutting her short on every occasion. The taking of the marriage usually involves a change of the surname for a woman. The man retains his own name. This is accepted as a conventional practice all over the world. There is a feminist who has voiced their apprehensions about how this change of the surname indicates the servant status that a woman occupies in contrast to her husband, including a gradual erosion of a female identity and selfhood. Mm, Today, a small presentations of the women do use their own surnames. That is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Kashikar, for your excellent presentation. So Ajit was missing when you were presenting Mrs. Kashikar. So we have learned through Ajit Konai that Mrs. Kashikar is a person whose name is taken away by her husband, and she is known to the public world through this identity as a wife. So she has lost a total control, autonomy over herself, over her identity, and she is simply playing a relational role of being a wife to Mr. Kashikar. Interestingly, in the play, Mr. and Mrs. Kashikar, they are childless. While Leela Banare has conceived a child, she is waiting to give birth to a child. This absence of a child in the life of Mr. and Mrs. Kashikar has forced them to adopt Balu Rokhde. And Mrs. Kashikar is totally controlled by her husband. She is not allowed to play important role in the entire play. She is not even given an equal platform to share, not even allowed to perform in the evening play. So her relationship with Mr. Kashikar, well explained through the play and by Ojit Konai, has led us to our understanding of the plight of the women, plight of ordinary Indian women. Thank you. So our next presentation will be by Lima. So Lima, please unmute your mic and make your presentation.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Sorry, good afternoon to all of you. I am Lima Rakshit. Hi, I'm Sukhatme. If you want to ask me about my occupation, I must say that I am a perfect lawyer, not from inside, but surely from outside. I'm passionate about my job, what I want to do literally. My point of view is built up on the orthodox perception of our patriarchal societies. I'm elated for having the power to show my skills in that living courtroom. As I was not successful, I still tried to pretend to be a lawyer of prosecution. I have seen so many ladies, but among them Leela Banare is one of the most attractive and quick-witted. But in spite of getting all that qualities, I believe ladies should stay inside their boundaries. They are not perfect to go out. I'm not enunciating that I'm a flamboyant, that everyone will be attracted by me, but still people, including Leela Banare, who is tempting me from different parts of my works. That's it, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lima, for your presentation of Shukatme. So he's
Yes,
a flamboyant person who wants admiration from women. This is an interesting thing I saw. I find that Shukatme in his real life is a failed man, totally, thoroughly failed man. Even in his
yes, sir,
profession.
but hello.
Yes.
Yes, no, sir, you tell.
So
What?
interesting reading of this character. So we find that in his real life, he's a failed man. Even in his profession as a lawyer, he's a briefless barrister, briefless lawyer without any case. But in this entire rehearsal scene, as well as in the evening play, he's supposed to play the dominant role of the lawyer, and most of the dialogues of the play are given in the lips of Sukhatme. So Sukhatme is a kind of person who is very vindictive, who does not want others to stay at their own space, in their own space. He doesn't want others to be free from the vices that he has. His vices are therefore imposed on others. And through the interrogation scene, we find his attitude, his mentality, and his abusive nature. So in this theater of cruelty that the play is, we find this instigator of violence, Sukhatme, the person who interrogates Leela Banare and forces her to the brink of disaster, forces her to confess her sin, and tortures her throughout the play. So this man has definitely something that is there in his mind, a mind that is not free from guilt, not free from sin, and his entire nature like a predatory animal, also surfaces through this conversation. Thank you, Lima, for making us
Thank you.
understand different
Thank you,
shades of the character. So our next presentation will be by Sudeshna Das. Sudeshna, please unmute the mic and switch on the video. Make your presentation, please. Yes, you're audible.
Sir, before I start, I want to say that I haven't done it in first person narrative.
Continue, please, Sudeshna.
Okay. I will start with a quotation from an introduction by Kamala Das. which perfectly describes the crisis of Leela Banare. When I asked for love, not knowing what else to ask, for he drew a youth of 16 into the bedroom and closed the door, he didn't beat me, but my sad woman body felt so beaten. The weight of my breasts and womb crushed me. The meticulously drawn character Leela Banare, the protagonist of Tendulkar's Silence the Courtesan session, who is an economically independent woman but hardly acceptable to the male chauvinistic society, as the societal norms always try to curb the inner excellence of the female class and dominate over them. This sort of unreasonable and irrational thoughts always present in the minds of the male actors of the theatre group in which Banare is also a member. Being a fun-loving and jolly personality, she jibes at the other members and enrages them to the zenith. In the beginning, she plays the role of a typical comic character who introduces other fellow artists by sarcastically commenting on them. As the play goes on, we find the character of Banare is actually multi-layered, who at a time represents all the women in India who are suppressed, oppressed, and marginalized. But at the same time, she is not a traditional heroine who suffers the injustices of society. During the mock trial scene, Banare is chosen by the group to play the role of accused, and the charge of unmarried motherhood and premarital relationship is brought against her. As the mock trial commences, it becomes a trap for helpless Banare. All the characters who are supposed to be the so-called guardians of the society needle their attack on Banare and drag her private affairs before the mock court. The fellow actors leave nothing unattempted, as is evident in the Sanskrit proverb uttered by Mr. Kashikar, Adhikasya Adhikam Phalam. Another case of Banare's life is her illegal relationship with her maternal uncle, who exploited her completely without paying heed to her age. Her words in this context express her view of love. I insisted on marriage so I could live my beautiful, lovely dreams openly. Banare's relationship with Damle is illegitimate too, and the fruit of love in her womb becomes a heavy burden to her as the society thinks of her the sinful canker on the body of society, for which the judge Mr. Kashikar gives the verdict that Banare must be sacked from her job of school teacher and must destroy the baby in her womb. But not a single contempt is uttered against Damle, the actual culprit. Mr. Kashikar refuses to listen to Banare's explanation and silences her again and again. This silence is a symbol of oppression and of the subaltern condition. But Banare refuses to be cowed down by men, as her last speech echoes the irony, sorrow, lampoon present in Indian society. Thus, we can say that Banare is entrapped within her own idealistic definition of love and puts herself again and again into the pyre of emotion. But she never loses her voice and never moves back questioning the authority. She is a new woman pleading for freedom and emerging out of patriarchal subjugation. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrudeshna, for your excellent analysis of the character of Leela Banare. You referred to Kamala Das's famous poem and introduction, and through that we have the autobiography of a female who is passing through various vicissitudes of life, being circulated from the hands of the father to the husband to son, and suffering slings and arrows of outrageous fortune imposed on her by the patriarchal society. The plight of an ordinary female in Indian society is mainly due to the difference that is set as a marker based on her gender. And this gender discrimination forces the female child born in any family, especially in Hindu family, to be a cursed one, always seen from the perspective of a patriarchy. She is seen as a property to be circulated, and her entire life and activity is controlled. Whenever a female asserts her individuality, she is guided by the predominant norms of the society, and the threshold has been imposed on her life. She always has to remain in the home that becomes her world. And whenever she wants to cross the periphery, cross the threshold, and step into the outside world, she is forced back to accept the dominant patriarchy and remain a relational being throughout her life. Thank you, Sudeshna, for this excellent analysis of the character. But I was expecting a kind of interior monologue that might have justified this character much better. First person interior monologue on Leela Banari. The entire play contains such interior monologues. So I will expect an interior monologue based on the life, like Kamla Das wrote a poem of Leela Banari. Thank you, Sudeshna. So our next presentation will be by Joydeep Das. Joydeep, please unmute the mic and switch on your video to make your presentation. Yes, Joydeep, you are visible. Make
yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Joydeep Das. I'm playing the role of Karnik. So I'm Karnik, a professional actor of an amateur theater group. I like the concept of intimate theater where there is a scope for experiment. For instance, you can arrange the stage from the audience's point of view so that you can connect with them better. When we reached a village to stage a play called The Living Courtroom, one of our cast members did not show up. Thus, the local boy Samant is asked to play the role, and he did never play in. He did never act in a play, and he also did not have any knowledge about the court proceedings. So we decided to perform a mock trial. We decided to perform a mock trial to help him to get acquainted with the court proceedings and the play. So, though we were actually supposed to stage a courtroom drama on the trial of President Johnson for the evil of nuclear proliferation, we end up choosing the subject of the private life of a woman in the mock rehearsal. In the visual enactment, our Miss Benare is charged with infanticide. Let me tell you, it was just a game, a serious game though. In the mock trial, I played the role of a witness, and I am asked the description of a mother. In the play, we perform. But to be honest, there is no such description in the modern plays. If I am to define motherhood, I do it in simple words. A mother is one who gives birth, and yes, by this definition, mother dogs are no less motherly than human mothers. Then Sukatme asks me whether I have seen Miss Benare in a compromising situation or not. And jokingly, I replied that Rokre has seen it, not me. As I was passing the buck to the next one as a part of the game. But Sukatme thought it to be real. It's strange that sometimes they are forgetting that it was just a game and not a serious trial. While for the sake of the rehearsal, the case should go on, the proceeding should not go beyond the jurisdiction of the court and enter the private sphere. Now, I also make objection to Rokre's version of the story, as I knew that Rokre did not slap the accused after her marriage proposal. I also had an important information to share that the accused had attempted suicide once before because of a disappointment in love with her own maternal uncle. The council was astonished to hear about such an immoral relationship, which is not generally accepted in our society. But unfortunately, no one stopped the humiliation towards Benare, even after knowing about her distress. Then the court announces that no memento of Benare's scene should remain for the play. Benare is on the ground and motionless. but I try to wake her up, try to get her up because the show needs to be started, and after all, the show must go on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Joydeep, for this excellent analysis of the character. So Karnik appears to be a character who is not in the focus of the play. But Joydeep, your analysis of the character in the first person has made the character so revealing to us. And we know a lot about this character. A person who believes in experimental theater, an idealist, a theater worker who wants to enact something that is actually a slice of life, a visual enactment that almost represents the life. And yet with all his idealism, you, Karnik, you have become a part and parcel of this game, a theatrical game that converges to a personal game of abuses, a kind of menace and cruelty that you impose on Leela Banare. You are also a scandal monger, I suppose, because Karnik, in spite of your idealism, your commitment to the theatrical arts, you are also a person like an ordinary man who is always interested in scandal mongering, accusing and abusing others. You are also rationalist. You compare this mothering of a bitch and the mothering of a human mother almost equal, but yet you also are fond, in spite of your rationality, of abusing a woman who is almost cornered by all the players. Thank you, Joydeep. We found that Karnik definitely has become an interesting character through your reading of the character. So this reading of the character, multiple ways we read the character, make the play interesting. So in your future activities, when you even perform the characters on the stage, such an excellent reading like Joydeep's reading of the character will definitely help us to perform and understand the role. Thank you, Joydeep.
Thank you, sir.
So our next presentation will be by Mopia Shaduka. Yes, Mopia.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Mopia Shadukhan. I am playing the role of Balu Rokre. I am Balu Rokre, a young man. I live with Mr. and Mrs. Kashikar. I am indebted to them because they paid for my education and served me as their foster child. I am acting as their unpaid servant. I am always scared if I make any mistake, then I have to pay for my sins. Even I refused Miss Benares' proposal to marry her and to help her for raising her unborn child. Out of fear of Mrs. Kashikar, who controls much of my life and behavior. And I can't do anything without her permission. And out of fear that I would be publicly shamed, and no one in my family has done a thing like that. I am frequently ordered by Kashikars and other members of the troupe. Sometimes I forget things, but not all the time. In the trial, I mistakenly brought the English dictionary for taking the oath instead of the Bhagavad Gita. In the trial, I wanted to play the role of fourth witness, and I knew the fourth witness's lines off by heart. But the Kashikars and Mr. Karnik didn't give any permission for doing this. What's wrong with me? I haven't got the actual reason behind it. I don't like when Miss Benare calls me Balu. I was warning her for this, but I like her verses. As the grass is green, the rose is red. Ah, what the lines are. And then Professor Damle, who has a wife and 5 children, he was normally inviting me in his house at the daytime, but not at night. Once I went to his house in the evening and I saw Miss Benare was there. As witness, I bravely said against the accused Miss Benare at the court that Miss Benare held my hand, but I want her for doing this. But She said to me, if I tell anyone what was happened there, she will do something to me. Then I slapped her. Yes, I said, what do you take me for? Do whatever you like. I won't stay quiet about this. And I am satisfied to play the role of witness. Here, Balu Rokre is bringing to an end. Thank you, sir. Hello, sir.
Thank you, Mopia. So you have already illustrated different aspects of Balu Rokre's character, the split in him. So although he is having a survival status in the play, being wholly dependent, as you have rightly pointed out, and his presence in the play also contains some shades of silence. Through your excellent analysis of the character, you have presented that other side of silence of Balu Rokre. So internally, he is having all the energy, all the talent, creativity, but he is denied his presence because he is totally economically dependent on Mr. and Mrs. Kashikar. He is a man who wants to be a man, wants to man the situation of his life, and yet he is totally manipulated by Mrs. and Mr. Kashikar. So we have here Balu Rokre also interested in narrating his own story, but denied this opportunity to narrate his own story. Mopia, you have excellently analyzed this other side of silence. His tales, the stories that he tells us, are always almost true stories, but yet, with reference to Leela Banare, of having slapped Leela Banare, he has told us a lie. And through this play, we also find the mind of a man who is totally controlled by the system of class and feudal order because of his impoverished condition. So the question of class, question of the presence of an individual who has been converted into a slave because of his economic condition has been well highlighted by you. Thank you, Mopia.
Thank you, sir.
So our next presentation will be by Nobonita Das. Nobonita, please make your presentation.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Nobonita, please turn that camera.
Yes, I've already turned it on, sir.
So auto rotate mode on. Please make that auto rotate mode on. Camera is turned on.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Nobonita. Make your presentation, please.
Okay, sir. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So I am Nobonita Das, and I'm playing the role of Leela Banare. Here, I'm looking at my audience who are finding me staged every day. So maybe I'm having an existence of a character performed on stage. But is it not true that many people sitting among the silent, dark audience also face the same? And maybe when they'll go back to their home and will look at the mirror and will surely find me being reflected in front of them. Isn't it a question of a woman who is victimized for ages, even marked as the second sex for ages? And how we women are also marked by the society so easily as characterless. Is it not how we are stereotyped for ages? I am marginalized, cornered by the chauvinistic society. But I'm proud of being Leela Banare because I know how I have struggled and how I have made an identity of a teacher. Maybe that's why you people laugh at me, because you think that as I'm a teacher, how can I be having a life of illegitimate intimacy? But before that, I'm a person, I'm a human being with emotions, passions, and mistakes. I'll not ask for forgiveness from the society. Rather, I'd say the society to rethink about its own parameters. Is it that here we have only one Leela Banare in this society? Or is it here a single lady who has suffered ever in this way? Maybe many orphanages have the answers. I am Leela Banare, and proudly declaring so, I find myself to be a character found in every nook and corner of the society, among the elites, among the higher class, and the creamy layers of our existing social system. My existence means a lot to me, and I'm happy that I'm also evoking equal emotions as I felt on stage among those silent sufferers who look at me as their mirror image. So I am Leela Banare presenting myself proudly, and I would not leave my entity to be judged by others because I am true to myself and to my existence. That is probably the most important struggle ever that I have faced in my life. Thank you, sir.
A loud, clear, okay, distinctive, feminist, Leela Banare. Thank you, Navnita, for allowing us to understand Leela Banare. So you form a kind of antithesis to the representation of Leela Banare made by others, especially the male critics who find Leela Banare as a poor victim subjected to patriarchy. So your loud, vocal support asserting the independence and free will of Leela Banare will actually lead us to understand the character better. Thank you, Navnita, for showing us this.
Thank you,
Our
sir.
next
Thank you very much.
presentation is by Ahona. Ahona, please unmute the mic and make your presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I, Mr. Kasikar, am a social worker in my real life, and I take the great pride in my job and the status it afford me. I, Mr. Kasikar, I am the husband of Mrs. Kasikar and a central member of the living courtroom, in which I play the role of a judge. I and my wife have taken Rokre as a ward and unpaid servant, and because we have no children. I, Kasikar, I am intensely critical of Rokre and my wife, Mrs. Kasikar, abusing her essentially every time she speaks. I'm also critical of my fellow players and intensely skeptical of the women's independence movement in India. Using Benares trial as a way to criticize working women generally, I, in my mind, think that the breakdown of society because of women who refuse to marry and engaged in behaviors, I see these things as immoral. I, Mr. Kasikar, I am the another powerful player alongside Sukhat May in the association. I, Mr. Kasikar, sits in judgment as the presiding justice, overseeing the mock trial court. But towards the end, I take the stand as a witness, speaking harshly against defendant just minute before delivering the verdict and subsequent announcement of the term of punishment. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kashikar Ahana Ghosh, for the excellent presentation of this dominant patriarchal character of this play. Definitely, Mr. Kashikar's presence in the play makes the play very interesting. And you have highlighted different shades of the character of Mr. Kashikar. When we think of Mr. Kashikar presiding over this mock trial session, having
Yes,
full
sir.
control over the situation, we also have some hints, some Freudian slips regarding his shortcomings. And it was in your analysis that we also found the shortcomings visible. Thank you, Ahona, for this excellent presentation.
Thank
Yes,
you,
Mr.
sir.
Kashikar is a power monger. He wants to show off his power, his opulence, and his control over the situation. Even when the trial session is on, he abandons the position, the role of a judge, and defying all the traditions of the court proceeding, he prefers to play the role of a witness. And what type of evidence he produces in the court is again a part of the scandal mongering that is going against Leela Banare. So he is the main tormentor and the presiding judge of torment. The final verdict given by you, Mr. Kashikar, definitely defies logic. And yet you are so abusive that you are forcing this lady, Leela Banare, to abort the child and commit the heinous task of infanticide. You represent the hegemony, male power that dominates the society, the Indian society, against which female have always fought. It is the violence, the vituperative violence that is seen through your voice, through your presence, and through your gavel that silences the voices of all the characters, especially the female characters like Leela Banare and Mrs. Kashikar. So, Mr. Kashikar, you are also the main person on whose life the play actually makes the main satire through this mock trial. So you are also an object and subject of satire, of Vijay Tendulkar satire. Thank you, Ohana, for this excellent presentation.
Thank you, sir.
So our next presentation will be by Miraj Hussain. He will be making presentation. Miraj, please unmute your mic and make yourself visible. So Miraj could not attend our previous classes. So he has missed so many classes. So Miraj, are you there online?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, make your presentation, please, Miraj.
Sir, I don't know, sir, what letter I couldn't, sir.
Okay, Miraj, we'll give you some more time for your preparation. Okay, as you join late, okay, no problem. We will give you some time. Select any character from the play and make a first-person presentation of the character. Okay, like our friends did today.
Okay, sir.
Okay, our next presentation will be by Rishabh Dev Roy. Rishabh Dev, please unmute your mic and make yourself visible by switching on your video. Rishabh Dev, you are online. Can you please make your presentation? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're audible. Can you make yourself visible? We want to see. We are actually seeing the characters through you. Can you make yourself visible?
Sir, I'm trying.
Make your video mode on.
Am I visible, sir?
Not yet.
1 minute, that I am trying.
At the bottom of the screen, there is this symbol of a camera. Yes, now we can see you. Yes, make your presentation, please, Rishabh.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Rishabh Dev Roy. I am playing the role of Mrs. Kashikar. I am Mrs. Kashikar, a middle-aged and typical middle-class, submissive, and an uneducated woman. I am totally under control of my husband, Mr. Kashikar's authority. As a result, constant verbal abuse or the silence is always inflicted upon me by my boastful dominating husband, which is quite synonymous to the patriarchal society. This kind of subjugation catalyzes one kind of malicious attitude within me because of Miss Benares' educational, physical, and economical superiority, which insists me to accuse and to hunt Miss Benares' freedom during the mock trial session. It also suggests that more or less every individual person is pitted against the backdrop of society. Apart from that, both of us are desperately want to become a mother, but here it is noteworthy that my will is nothing but another attempt of the society to align women in their stereotypical roles in society by praising the archetypal motherhood. Whereas Miss Benares' intention to raise her child while unmarried, asserting the feminine independence. Therefore, in conclusion, it can be said that on one hand, I serve as a foil to Miss Benare, and on the other hand, I am less a woman and more a slave, shackled in domestic duties and wifely devotion. In other words, although I am a woman, I merely subscribes the conservative thought that women are not fit for independence, which is also reflected in Manusmriti. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Rishabh Dev Roy, for playing the role of a female character, Mrs. Kashikar, and understanding the female character much better than others. Okay, so understanding the psyche of a female from the male perspective is very difficult. Vijay Tendulkar himself has accepted that he has not made a proper study of the female characters in the play Silence the Court is in Session. And he even dismissed that this play is not a feminist play because he has some limitations regarding the understanding of the female characters. The psychological roles that are presented in the play, however, represent one phase of the female conduct in society. And Rishabh Dev, you have definitely presented that aspect of Mrs. Kashikar's character. So it is a game of child finding, child hunting, hunting the paternity of the child, while being childless herself. Leela Banare is a person who is the target of such verbal abuses, mental and physical torture, and she is forced to confess the sin of committing some illicit relationship with Professor Damle and conceiving a child. Mrs. Kashikar is childless, and she is also a territory that is totally occupied by Mr. Kashikar. Totally her body and mind both are controlled. You have talked about the foil that she is, of course, with Miss Leela Banare, but she is Mrs., she is Miss. The only difference is that the Mrs. here is childless and the Miss here has conceived a child. So she is also a character set as a contrast. Whatever Leela Banare is, Mr. Kashikar has a lack of that. She is not educated, she does not have an economic independence, she does not have that power and privilege of performing the role of an actor in this group. She simply serves her role in this extended family of the theater world while performing the role of a housewife in Mr. Kashikar's home. She is in the outside world, again a slave to Mr. Kashikar. So this is a crisis in Mrs. Kashikar's life. And in order to overcome this crisis, she is also willingly or unwillingly playing a role in the exploitation of the female in the character. So in spite of being a female herself, she becomes a tool in the hand of patriarchy to abuse the women characters. Thank you, Rishabh Dev, for this excellent study of female psychology.
Thank you, sir.
So our next presentation will be by Shayantoni Nundi. Shayantoni, please unmute your mic and make yourself visible. Make your presentation, please. Yes.
Am I?
Yes, you are audible and visible. Please make your presentation.
Good afternoon. And I am going to play the role of Mrs. Kashikar. I am Mrs. Kashikar, the wife of Mr. Kashikar. People call me as Mrs. Kashikar, not by my original name. That is why sometimes I thought that one day, maybe I am going to forget my original name. First of all, I am a housewife and not an well-educated. Our society does not want a well-educated and self-sufficient girl. I am also a middle-aged woman and not an interested one to our troop members and our society. My husband always abused me in front of people. He does not bother of my self-respect. When I am going to speak, he starts to humiliate me even before finishing my words. And the other troop members gossip against me, I think. Yes, I am unable to conceive. And for maintaining social status, we were adopted Balu Rogde. I would like to control his life and behavior, as my husband always liked to control my behavior and myself. I want to maintain social status throughout my whole life, but I think society does not give me sufficient respect or power. In all respects, I am passive and subordinate. Sometimes, Balu denied to obey my words, I think. In our group, there is another female character, is Benare. We both are female, but there is a difference between us. She is charming and interesting, and also young. Each and every people of our group are interested to Benare. They are all time going to flatter Benare. Benare is carrying on with many men, but in front of society, she is a respectable school teacher, and the society does not be able to watch a stigma or scandal. Although I abide by all the rules and regulations of the society. But I think beside Benare, I'm just like a black hole, and she's like the moon. Although she conceals stigma, but it covers with her light her education. I'm the one who is feeling ignorant throughout my life. I am too elderly to get attention. I think I am an optional, not necessary. I'm very tired with pain and suffering. I bleed many times from my heart, and I feel that my heart become a wound which does not ever have any ointment from my society and my surrounding people. My soul was burned and make it hard and hard as the iron. My soul became brutal and full of revenge. My situation makes me like this. That's all about Mrs. Kashikar.
Thank you, Shayantoni, for this passionate reading of Mrs. Kashikar's life in the most lyrical manner ever imagined by me. Even the critics will fail as you saw Mrs. Kashikar in this light. So you have identified yourself with Mrs. Kashikar well and entered into the character and life of Mrs. Kashikar. For a good student or scholar of English literature and an admirer of theatre of Vijay Tendulkar, it is necessary for us to absorb the character in order to understand the nuances of the character. Yes, Mrs. Kashikar is a mole in society. She is presenting herself as a person who is unwanted. So she is a territory that has become barren because of being childless. She is a woman deprived of this motherhood. She is a woman who is always left over by the society. She finds herself not at all attractive at this age, and she finds her entire life as if it is just an absurd being amid so many activities that are taking place. So this sense of absurdity that governs Mrs. Kashikar's life makes her a pathetic character. And your reading of Mrs. Kashikar as a character who is on surface appearing to be very strong, appearing to be controlling the events even in the course of the rehearsal. But your reading of the play has shown the other side of her silence, a silence that always dumbs her, mutes her, and keeps her aware of her jeopardy. The double jeopardy of this character, Mrs. Kashikar, is that she is Mrs. and she is a Mrs. without a child. And yet she is forced to play the role by Mr. Kashikar in a play, within a play, that will be making Leela Banare confess about the sin of committing or conceiving a child out of love. So this loveless relationship between Mr. Kashikar and Mrs. Kashikar and the abandonment of Mrs. Kashikar, conversion of a human being into a slave, into a helpmate, a housewife, has been well explained by you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
For your presentation. So do we have more presentations today? Most of the students are not present. So those students who are not present because of some reasons or other, perhaps because of verification process that is going on. So we have missed two important characters of the play. One is Samant and the other is Pokshe. So we will learn about these characters in our next class, next session. But today's session was much engaging, intellectually stimulating, almost lyrical, passionate, and the entire way you conducted the session, the presentations were so nice, interwoven with our understanding of the play, with our reading of the play, that the session has gained that level of scholarship as well as our sincerity that has got reflected through our task. So well work done, all the students, all the presentations.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent. So we will be waiting
Thank you very much, sir.
More presentations. So with so many questions raised by you regarding the characters, we will now look into these characters again, in our next session and see for ourselves whether Tendulkar's art of characterization and our understanding of the play, its true meaning, are possible or not. So any questions you have, any observations you have apart from these? Yes, is there anyone who want to say something on some other character of the play? Yes. So one conclusion that we can draw is that the characters in Vijay Tendulkar's Silence the Court in session are all important characters. So he is not working on the traditional theory of characterization that gives more focus on some characters, especially the hero and the heroine. Rather, the group takes the center stage. Most of the characters that are there in the play are drawn from different aspects of life. They are brought from typical situation and placed in the context of the play, and their lives, their conduct, their attitudes, their behavior, and their interaction among each other gradually reveal the central theme of the play, how the society silences the aspirations of individual and bring the individual out of himself or herself to be placed in this society. And any kind of defect that is visible, any type of aberration or deviation from the main norm of society that is seen is critiqued by society. Every individual is therefore presented as a victim. Although the play clearly shows us the group of characters who are dividing among themselves into two groups, the malignant characters and the benevolent, benign characters. But the shades of malignancy is present in all the characters, including Leela Banare. So Leela Banare is also taunting Balu Rokhde, and Balu Rokhde does not feel good when he is taunted. So there are words of abuse that Leela Banare use against Mrs. Kashikar, especially she is using the cradle metaphor to describe Mrs. Kashikar. Okay, that means she is referring to the childlessness of Mrs. Kashikar at the beginning of the play. So even Leela Banare has her own shades of violence that she is exerting on the other characters. So the romantic facade that Leela Banare shows off to the world also conceals her sense of superiority, where she regards this Mrs. Kashikar as a person, as a woman who is totally dependent. She regards Balu Rokhde also as a dependent man. She wants to liberate Balu Rokhde from the oppression of Mr. and Mrs. Kashikar and trying to force Balu Rokhde into her own oppression. So we have this type of complexity in the character. So benevolence of the character and the malignancy of the characters are all there. There are also some characters who are trying to trap others in order to hurl abuses. The private sins, private guilt, private prejudice, false notions, fallacies, all these are there presented in the play. So it becomes a great play in the Indian context because it reveals whatever is swept under the carpet, whatever is hidden behind the mask, and Vijay Tendulkar's task is to unmask the multiple faces that lie beneath the surface. And this is Vijay Tendulkar's psychological art of characterization. We must appreciate this through our reading of the play. The more we read about the play, more we read the dialogues of the play, we find that through naturalism, symbolism, realism, psychological realism, he has been able to present different shades of characters. So we have with us Rishabh. Rishabh has just joined. Rishabh, are you there on the line? Rishabh Shah, would you like to make some presentation? Rishabh, would you like to make your presentation now? Rohit Guo, would you like to make your presentation?
Sorry, sir. I am not know about presentation.
Okay. Rishabh, would you like to make a presentation today? Sharadya, you have also joined. So because of networking issues, so we conclude the discussion today. If you have any observation to make, please make regarding Tendulkar's art of characterization. By now, we are certain that we can write an essay on Tendulkar's art of characterization, yes or no? Although two characters are left, Samant and Pokshe, these two characters are left. By now, we know how to write an essay on Tendulkar's art of characterization. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
of you are confident?
Yes, sir.
All of you are confident? If I ask you to write an answer now, you can write. Are you all confident?
Yes,
sir. You can write.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is the confidence I want from you. So write your own text. Don't copy text. Don't read text written by others. Vijay Tendulkar did not copy the text written by others. So we, the readers of Tendulkar's play, will also write our own text. Whatever way we understand, we will logically convince others that this is the way we understand. And every reading in literature, if it is rationally, if it is critically explained, is the correct one. Okay, language, representation, grammar. These are essential for representation. But the thought that we are going to, ideas that we are going to present should be our own. We will not simply copy paste. We are not copy pasters. Thank you very much. Sharadya, would you like to present? Okay, Sharadya again left. So networking issues might be there. Yes, any question? Ojit, you want to make any observation? So we give some time to Ronita. Ronita started the presentation today. Ronita, would you like to make any observation?
No, sir.
Okay, so we conclude the class today.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. So meet you
Thank you,
next
sir.
Wednesday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Next session of
Thank you.
on art of characterization. So be present and encourage your friends to prepare their presentations.
Yes, sir.
So ask them to memorize the text. Okay, instead of reading the text, ask them to memorize the text. That will be very interesting. Online, they will present them their character in first person. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Stay safe, stay well.